All right, sociological topics. First, financial. Um, it's really hard to have a chronic illness financially if you don't have good health insurance, and even if you have good health insurance. Um, it's hard to keep up with the bills, it's hard to keep up with your medications. There are so many different aspects of healthcare that you don't see until you get all the different bills and you see how those stack up. And if you can't just pay one bill to the hospital and then they allocate it. They give you an itemized bill, and then you have to pay each of those in a different way, not to mention insurance, which will get the bill and then say, no, we don't want to pay for that, and send it back. And then the hospital sends it to you, and you say, my insurance should have paid for this. And then they say, the hospital says, call your insurance. And it's just this big rigmarole where the hospital wants their money for providing the service. The insurance wants to pay as little as possible to make a profit and yet still provide the service that they're giving. And you're just trying to make sense of it all without losing your ass financially and going into debt, like has happened to many, many, many Americans in this country because of the cost of healthcare. Okay, moving on. Intimacy. So, the easiest thing to talk about is sexual intimacy. Dating was real weird. I'm not really, or I wasn't comfortable with myself, and who I was, and I didn't find myself sexy before the LVAD, and then tack on wearing batteries and having a fanny pack all day, you feel like an idiot. And yet, you still want to have sex. So it's very interesting to see how you deal with that and the things that you do to try to get around that. So it took a lot of trying to talk myself into that wasn't something that was important to me in the relationship, and that I just really wanted to find a partner that I could share my life with in other ways. And I got lucky. Kind of. So, yeah, you take a couple of precautions and make sure that your partner actually gives a damn and is aware as well, and you should be okay no matter what the chronic illness or what the disability. You just need somebody to work with. Now, as far as physical intimacy with friends and family, pets, it's like you can't really roughhouse like you used to, in my case. You definitely get closer on a personal level, I think, with your friends and family, because, you know, your life is in danger, and they get that, and you get that, and you start talking about more deeper things. Let's see. Social, recreational, and isolation. I guess I wanted to say that I could no longer engage in recreational drug use, whether it be legal or illegal. Um, and that cuts out a lot of socialization in the way of a young adult. So the bar scene, that's out. Um, House parties, generally college type of activities. Even some of the clubs I was in would go out to dinner and would have alcohol and want to stay out late. And I couldn't stay out late because I had to get home to not let my batteries run out, which was very frustrating. Recreational, I can't swim. I can't take showers. Water, electricity, not a good thing. No contact sports, so soccer. I stopped riding my bike because I couldn't ride it and not want to go really fast and risk falling down and the trauma that would follow. So I stopped doing that. And isolation. So in my case, and in the case of those with more rare chronic illnesses, or at least in my case, because of my age and my chronic illness, it's not exactly rare in the elderly. People don't really get what you're going through. They try, God love them, but it doesn't really work, and it leaves you feeling very alone and different. But as long as you're willing to reach out and see that they're making the effort, it's better than just being alone in the world. Let's see here. My profession, so it hasn't really well, I take that back. It has affected my profession twice in the 2 years that I've been doing it. So I told you that I graduated, started working. Within 4 months of starting work, I had to be hospitalized and come back to work. And they were really understanding. Again, I got really lucky not to get laid off and asked to go somewhere else. I could try to fight that in court if they did do that, but would I have the resources to do so? I don't know. And then my second job in 2018, I had to get hospitalized again. So work hasn't really gone the best. School was good. I don't know how I got through school without any problems, and then as soon as I start working, I have 2 hospitalizations. Family and friends. In my case, and in a good friend's case, I would say that you really find out who cares about you and who will be there. A lot of drama, a lot of harsh realizations of who cares and who doesn't. and you adjust to that, and it hurts, but I mean, it is what it is. And you grow closer to those people who are there, and you grow more distant with those who aren't. And that's about it on topics.